Right, so let's get to the point. Recently, there has been this disgusting TikTok trend which has been making its rounds where people post, couples specifically, post their pictures together years ago and now. The thing is, let's say people who are, I don't know, 28 and 20 posting their pictures of back when they were like 24 and 16, you know. And 20 and 28, as big of an age gap that is, it's not very noticeable until you see how long they've been in a relationship. And it has been since when they were 24 and 16. And if the problem isn't obvious enough, people are actually defending this kind of massive age gaps. I don't even have a problem with the massive age gaps on its own. You know, obviously there are people who get married, maybe when they are 27 to 35 or 34. I don't see a problem with that. The massive age gaps, when someone is, I don't know, below the age of 25 or even 20, that is messed up. What is a 16-year-old doing with a 24-year-old? And people are not recognizing that, that is an issue, and they are actively defending it. And I think it's an issue because at the age of 16, you are not mature. Your brain hasn't fully developed yet. You are not capable of understanding the world, whereas a 24-year-old has somewhat a pretty good grasp of that. And when you have a relationship between these two kinds of people, there's going to be a power play. There is rooms for things such as grooming, which is, I assume, the main reason for these kinds of relationships in the first place. A 24-year-old is seen. Okay, let's go with the 24-year-old male with the 16-year-old female, because that's how these things play a lot as far as I've seen them. There has been situations where the roles have been reversed, but let's go with the 24-year-old male and the 16-year-old female now. There is a big power difference. There is no equality in that relationship. The 24-year-old feels in charge, and the 16-year-old is obviously, looks at this 24-year-old as a much more mature figure, as a person to trust. And they can be easily manipulated by this person. And this 24-year-old can convince the 16-year-old that some of the things that she shouldn't be doing are actually fine, which is sexual grooming. He can talk her into doing these sexual acts for him, and from a young age this girl is going to think that's fine. That is actually a necessity in a relationship. That is how relationships are supposed to be, especially if this girl if this is the girl's first relationship or something like that. She's going to view relationships in a very different light from what other people view relationships as. And she is going to be subjected to this sexual grooming for years to come. And let's be real, this 24-year-old is a freak. He is fetishizing younger girls, and I don't believe anyone that tells me that a 24-year-old guy is in love with a 16-year-old girl purely out of love. It's messed up. No, this guy has a fetish for young girls, and he wants to groom them for sex. That is what he wants, and anybody who says otherwise have no idea what they're talking about. Okay. And this kind of massive age gaps and grooming has always been an issue in this country, with child marriage and stuff like that. I feel like I feel like even child marriage, maybe people are a bit more serious about that topic because, of the intensity of that topic, like child marriage, 11-year-olds getting married to 12-year-olds getting married to, very old men, it's very extreme. Okay. So, even though that topic does not have as much exposure or the fact that it's even still legal here, um, even though we haven't made much progress in that area, I feel like a lot of people do recognize that it is messed up and it's wrong. However, in this case, it the what do you say, how messed up it is a bit more subtle than child marriage. It's a bit more subtle and people don't really see it as an issue. And there's been, I mean, of course you do see cases of like teachers like having inappropriate relationships with their students. I've even seen I think sometime back I saw a teacher on TikTok actually getting married to her student after he graduated, and like after he left school. And in those kind of cases, the people don't really see it as something wrong, because they are slightly more older. They are not considered like children anymore, even though you can make the argument that they are. And we really need to do something about this, otherwise we are going to be victimizing a lot of young people. I mean, even at the age of like 20 and above, dating a guy who's like 30 or somewhere close to that age is it's just weird. Like I said, there's going to be an power imbalance there, and you're opening yourself up to grooming. And this guy obviously, or this girl, whoever you want to call it, most of them, you're just a side chick to most of these guys. They don't really love you, they are just using you. And a lot of girls and guys can't see this because they are so young. So I hope this disgusting trend goes away soon, and people open their eyes. And yeah, like I said in my tweet before, I think a tweet is not enough to express my rage, so I made a video about it. So I don't know how cringe this video is going to be, but yes, that's my 2 cents on this issue. Bye.